welcome. You're watching Happiest Health, and today we have a very special guest with us, celebrity nutritionist Fernando. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us here at the Edge of Nutrition Summit 2024, hosted by Happiest Health.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, Rati.
Thank you, Ryan. My first question, of course, you're a celebrity nutritionist. So you've worked with all kinds of celebrities, from sports persons to film stars, from Virat Kohli to Shahid Kapoor to Chiranjeevi. What is it that they do differently that they stay so healthy and fit?
You see, every celebrity actually first has always been an Aam Aadmi. So the classification is we are all human beings. But what is different is they subscribe to this principle, which is their body is the most expensive real estate that they own, or their body is what commands their paycheck. So, Rati, for example, if I tell anyone, I am going to give you 3 crores in 3 months, and you have to be at this frame of mind, this body frame, and this level of productivity, you will do it. We do it every day as Aam Aadmi people. How do we do it every day? We turn up at work. You turn up at work. I turn up at work. 9 to 5, 9 to 6. We do our job, right? But when we finish our jobs, we say that our body is no longer needed. So I can go back home. I can eat what I want, do what I want. And exercise, I worked hard enough. 9 to 6. All mental work. So my body is so tired, I'm not going to physically train my body. So what these film stars do is they invest in exercise at the highest possible level in the shortest period of time with professional trainers. They do not skip a workout. Like for example, Shahid Kapoor, if he had a shoot in the morning, would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and shoot. And if he shot till 3:30 in the night, he would stay awake. 4 o'clock his trainer would come, he would exercise and then go to sleep. So that diligence in exercise is there. With regards to food, unlike the common man who is a slave to the taste bud, they are not. Because they understand that a moment on the lips, forever on the hips. For us on the hips, it's okay. So what these film stars do is they take the services of people like me who are nutrition coaches. And what we do is we figure out everything in them. And then we coordinate what we call in layman terms a diet plan. Olden days diet plan was 2 idli, 2 sambar, 2 paratha. Modern day diet plan is integration of blood test, microbiome, which is the gut, bacteria, and your genetics. And you will be surprised the accuracy of what you should eat and should not eat. And then when we tell this film star, please eat this, don't eat this, please eat only this quantity and eat only at this time, they follow it to the T like good athletes or students, and hence they get the result.
The India men's cricket team just returned after winning the World Cup. We're a little curious to know, because you worked with some of these sports persons as well, including Virat Kohli, what goes into their diet and workout? I mean, how many hours does Virat Kohli work out in a day?
So I have worked many years ago both with Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and even Rishabh Pant. Now, you have to understand that the requirement of an athlete is not once in a quarter like a film star. They have to turn up every day and they have to perform. Body has to perform. You have to keep in mind they're also growing older, which is why we had the retirement of them, because they are in their end fag journey of their careers. They know this, their body knows this. But what have they done? They obviously in their trainings work out anywhere from 2 hours to 6 hours a day. If they're in match grade performances, cricket is T20, Ranji, one-dayers or test matches. You're literally on the field from minimum of 4 hours to 5 hours and a maximum of 10 hours a day. So both competition and training has this heavy toll on the body. So they tend to understand nutrition very well, and BCCI has invested in the support teams unlike other sports in India. So they have got the necessary coaches, they have the necessary strength and conditioning people, physiotherapists, masseurs, biomechanics, nutritionists. And what's happening at that level is, with so many people helping you out, you're kind of like, okay, I can't do wrong because I'm being educated, enlightened, cajoled to please do this correctly. So somebody like Virat Kohli was already on a good diet. He changed from a non-vegetarian over the years to a vegetarian. Why would he do this? Because he would be constantly asking his body, do you like what I do? Most athletes don't do that. They train really hard and they say, It is my God-given right that I should be able to eat what I want. But the modern generation of athletes is now understanding whatever I put into me gives me performance 24 hours later. So I still remember there's a video of Virat Kohli online, and so my recommendation was 100 grams of oat for one day because it was a quick rush meal. So he's measuring this on his Instagram and it goes to 104 and he taps it back to 100. So you'd think a normal person will let 104 be 104 grams. But no, perfectionist in him had to come back to 100. And he likes the 100, and that's why he's one of the best batsmen in the world. So there's a stickler in terms of process and protocol. And when we have given a nutrition plan in the past, the athletes also question us. Why should I do it? They're not blindly taking it. So the reason behind this is the greater awareness in the industry today, that you watch Instagram, you have so many influencers who are putting their bodies out there, who are fitness coaches and diet coaches. So when they are doing that and then you're seeing that transformation, the athletes are also like, okay, can I do this transformation? There are also sets of athletes that are talented and gifted, wherein they could just eat a biryani and go and play. Those are 1 out of 100 players. Those are the players that never follow a diet plan. Right. In games like golf, I've seen many of the players don't follow a nutrition plan. The hockey team is very disciplined in their diet. Badminton players are very disciplined in their diet. Race car drivers, some of the people who do 10-pin bowling, snooker, these are sports where they don't bother about their diet, and it's evident that these sports don't require that aggressive performance.
Now, coming to this idea of having dinner before sunset or having a last meal before sunset, we've heard Akshay Kumar talk about it, Anushka Sharma talk about it, but for a common person, your work gets over by 7-8 p.m, then you're home by say an hour or two later in the traffic, then you're tired, you want to eat something. Some of us can't go to bed hungry at all, you can't sleep. How does one make this practical as a layman?
See, our ancestors didn't have electricity. So you probably finished eating when there was little light left. And that's evolution for thousands of years. We have electricity for about, I think, 100, 120 years, maybe in India for the last 50 years. So what's happened now is women are also getting into the workplace. So the element of coming back home at 5 o'clock in the evening and the meal being prepared is also difficult. So if you look at circumstances from the Aam Aadmi's perspective, everyone works till 7 o'clock, food may be not ready on the table. So people tend to eat later. So from a practicality point of view, my only advice to India is this: eat your heaviest meal in the morning. The second meal is lunch, which can be moderately heavy. You have a heavy snack at around 5 o'clock in the evening. And then when you come home at 7:30, 8 in the evening, it's only a soup or a salad. Unfortunately, we don't understand the concept of soup and salad. And if I tell somebody eat sabzi, they say, मेरे को चावल चाहिए या रोटी चाहिए? And that is where the volume portion and the calorie density of the meal goes up. So eat lighter as the sun sets, because you're not going to exert a lot of energy after 7 o'clock in the evening, either the brain or the movement of your body. A quick tip for people who eat late: go for a walk with your spouse. Basically what happens is, as soon as you finish eating, don't wait. Keep the dishes in the sink, put on your walking shoes, go for a 30-minute walk with your spouse. Come back, then clean up the kitchen, do everything. So that's a lower intensity workout too. So within about 1 hour, your house is shut down and all. Also, I've seen another thing with thousands of counselings that I do. Everyone eats in front of the TV. So now you're roped into the TV and you don't have the desire to go out and walk, because the TV or the phone is more entertaining than either your spouse, your children, or anything else. So we have lost that avatar where we could go out and walk. But if you see our ancestors, they used to walk in the evening.
Now, when it comes to weight loss, fasting is something that everybody is going for. But there are different kinds of fasting: intermittent fasting, fasting once a week, water fasting, fruit fasting, different kinds. How important are all these, and which one's the best and why?
You see, the human race is eating too much, Revati.
That was supposed to be my next question. Are we eating more than we can chew or swallow?
So if you go back to our grandparents' generation, they didn't have Zomato, Swiggy, they didn't have e-commerce apps, they didn't have refrigerators, they did not have, the supermarkets. So food is available at a snap of finger, click of button, and disposable income is so high that everyone is starting businesses in food. And how do you get people to eat more? So you see portion controls in restaurant-based dishes are enough to serve 1.5 people or even 2 people. Now, when you get that dish, you're like, I cannot waste the dish, because in India, we are taught never to waste food. So the calorie consumption has gone up. As a nutritionist, how do I convince a person, dude, you don't need to eat so much? So one thing is you tell people, oh, fasting is very good. But get this, fasting has been there in all religious scriptures. In Hinduism, fasting was there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Shivratri, Navratri, whatever days you there, you have that 30 days of the lunar cycle, and you don't eat grains on a certain day. You have in Islam the fasting period of Ramzan. In Christianity, you have the period of Lent. My grandmother would never eat food on Friday. So we need to make it more fashionable, because religion is also getting diluted. So fasting tenets were there. People have lost the form of it because of the conveniences and the, I wouldn't call it disrespect, but the hustle and bustle of life have made you less spiritual, less religious. And research has been done by Nobel Prize winners on fasting, where a concept known as autophagy happens. Simple thing is, when Diwali comes, we clean our houses. There's a spring cleaning that can be done inside every cell in your body, and that's called fasting. So when you deprive the human body, for the sweet spot is about 30 hours of no food but water and salts, you can clean up the zombie cells in the body. Who are zombie cells? Zombie cells are the cells that rely on sugar and salt and roam around your body and constantly tell you, hey, you need to have that pizza. Hey, you need to have that ice cream. So by bringing in fasting of any caliber, intermittent fasting, 2 fasted days in a week, skipping a dinner, not eating for 24 hours and only doing water fast. These are things that 1 meal a day. These are things people can do just to basically reset cleansing systems inside the body.
While you're talking about cleansing, and another question that I had was, people do all sorts of detoxifying, have lemon water in the morning or just have fruit infused water, various other things to basically detoxify your body. Are these actually working? Are they necessary?
See, both detox waters, alkaline waters, flax seeds, methi seeds, um, coffee with butter, ghee in the morning, oil pulling. To be very honest with people, I think we need to do some theater to keep our clients entertained. But if we really get into the deep dive of a person eating the whole day, a little bit of makeup on your lifestyle is not going to take away the scars of eating badly. So people are trying to take small quick fix methods of detox waters and juices and jeera ajwain soft pani, which I also give. But it's a way for me, like a school teacher, to tell a child that first you start drawing with paper and pencil. Later on, I'll get you to use pen. Pen is what I say is the diet. So when I do these paper and pens and you get good at it, you're like, oh, I'm good at this. So when I pick up the pen, when I pick up my food, maybe I can get a little bit more healthier. So that's the secret behind it. Detox water on its own works. But if you have a crappy diet at the end of the day, it's not even going to cancel it out. It's just a placebo to your brain thinking that, oh, you know what? You're doing something nice.
Now, no diet or nutrition is fully beneficial if you don't exercise, right? Um, but are 10,000 steps a day enough for any individual?
So 10,000 steps on an average Indian height frame is equivalent to about 7 to 9 kilometers of walking. Okay. Now, the research came to this level basically because they found out that the calorie balance between 3 meals a day and what you're eating for as a factory or a laborer, the 10,000 steps is what you would move on in a factory floor. But in today's day and age, you and I are DJs, desk jockeys. We use these fingers for movement and our brain. So like I've done 758 steps today because I was coming for this seminar. I got up late, I didn't go to work, I just lolled around the house. 700 steps at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. By now, my grandfather would have clocked in 9,000 steps already. So you understand what's the problem? The problem is the human race is getting more intellectual, more automated, and because of that, we have to now bring exercise as a exercise in its own right. A physical activity has to become an exercise in our life. And so I think that's the reason why gyms, personal trainers, yoga, Pilates, all of these have to be entertaining enough to pull people and say, I need you to do this because you're not doing enough.
You're not doing enough seems more attractive than anything else.
The human race has been designed to have the least pain points and the highest pleasure points. So, Revati, you tell me, ice cream, pizza, burger, sitting on a couch watching Netflix, after a tiring day, nursing a aerated beverage or a lovely glass of wine or alcohol. Those are the pleasure points. Why would a human being choose a pain point? They would only do it when they understand that their body is the most expensive real estate and you cannot change that real estate. So you can buy a new house, car, bungalow, laptop, phone. You can change everything. You can't change your parents, you can't change your children, and you can't change your body. Everything else is changeable in life. So people need to understand that.
Question again is, are 20,000 steps enough then?
If people can start at 10,000 steps, I'll be happy because then they don't need to visit me. But they need to visit me when they're not doing steps. And for example, 800 steps today on my phone at 3 o'clock in the afternoon is not good enough. Yes, I didn't wear the watch till about 10 o'clock in the afternoon, but still, it's not enough. We need to hit 10,000 steps. And if a person cannot do it, walk 10 minutes after breakfast, 10 minutes after lunch, 10 minutes after dinner. So people now, they sit down, they plonk. Like I see it in my office, everyone's sitting on the phone or in front of the computers. I'm like, move, go up, talk around, go for a walk down to the park, come back. I've actually in my office designed a lunch cafeteria 150 meters away in another building. And my team is asking me, can you make a pantry in the three-story building that we have? And I'm like, no, you go walk to there. But they don't understand is that I'm forcing them to do that walk because we're all DJs, desk jockeys. Or just you're bombarded with so much of this information that comes on the internet. People are trolling me saying that I'm fear-mongering. I'm not fear-mongering. I have a very successful clinic. I don't even need to get onto the internet. But the reason I'm doing this is because only the elite, the privileged, and the people who are very rich are changing the way they eat. But the normal people, before they get the wake-up call, there is nothing. So suddenly you have a heart attack, BP, angina, diabetes, and then, oh my God, I have to take all of this medicine. And like my dad said the other day, my diabetes is under control. No, Dad, your diabetes is not under control. You're taking medicine. Diabetes is reversible. But if people don't catch it early enough, don't exercise, don't control their tongue, they're going to have all of these lifestyle diseases.
The last question for this session is reverse aging possible with the right food?
Everybody ages at a certain coefficient, meaning 1 month of you're going forward in age, you should age 30 days. But research now is showing that you can go ahead 365 days in birth certificate age, but you can actually only age by 0.8 of a coefficient or 0.9 of a coefficient. So for example, I personally am 48 years of age. My metabolic age on the scale is 36. It was actually 34 2 months ago. But 2 months ago, I gained by 2 years of body age. I've grown older. Why? Because I enjoyed 7 mangoes a day. So I was like...
I will not blame you for that, mangoes. No.
So look, even a nutritionist is a human being. The point I'm trying to communicate is aging happens because the calorie content in our diet is too much, which causes insulin to be secreted more. Therefore, your sugar levels are going to be stored more as fat. So it's called insulin resistance. So what happens is more fat in your body, less muscle in your body. The measurement indications of metabolic syndrome or stresses will say that, buddy, you're not a 48-year-old, you're a 55-year-old. So the idea is, yes, people can begin to take small changes in weight training, Pilates, eating organically, more vegetables rather than fruits because of the sugar, less grain because of the carbohydrates causing insulin resistance. Because again, we are not farmers and we are not laborers and we are not factory workers. People who are watching this on the internet are mostly desk jockeys, DJs. We're using our brains and our fingers.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Before we move on, I think I had this one question to ask you because the last time you came for our summit, there was this question that I asked you. What does Ryan Fernando eat? And that was our one of our top viewed videos. I think the viewers were very interested. So this time, I would want to ask you, what is it that you don't eat in your diet?
Okay, so what I don't eat in my diet is gluten and lactose, and let me tell you why. Um, 10 years, 14 years ago, I got myself gluten tested and blood tested and microbiome tested. And it came back to me, much to my surprise, that I should not touch dairy, peanuts, and gluten. Gluten is found in wheat, barley, and rye as a protein. That was the reason I got adult acne for my entire life. I wish somebody met me when I was very young and told me, don't do this. So I've actually written a book called Wheatless. And Wheatless was written because I believe many people don't know that they are allergic to foods. So the foods that I avoid are generally like, I go to a restaurant and I see people eating ras malai and rasgulla, and I see people having beautiful naans and rotis. My mouth is actually watering, and I haven't had a naan or roti in a decade. But what I do is I go and ask the chef to make me a missi roti, which is made with corn flour. So ideally speaking, I always have a green salad in my food. I always have a breakfast that's with protein, mostly natural, which is eggs or beans. And I will back it up with 4 or 5 vegetables that would go into a salad and a lot of microgreens. On Saturday, Sunday, I cheat and have the traditional South Indian breakfast or continental breakfast. But Saturday and Sunday, my workload and exercise is higher, and hence I allow that. Rice is only 3 to 4 times a week. So 7 threes are 21. 7 days a week, 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. So I only do 6 to 7 at the maximum rice dishes. So which means an evening dish is either a soup or a salad. And as you grow older, you will understand that you can no longer metabolically burn the food that you ate at 25 years of age. Because you're putting on weight, you can see it. So I tell people, rather than look at what Ryan Fernando is eating, ask which weighing scale Ryan Fernando uses. He uses a weighing scale which measures fat percentage and muscle percentage. So like I just told you, I gained 2% body fat and grew 2 years in metabolic age because I ate so many mangoes. So now, this month, I'm walking more and no fruits because I did my fill. And this, by the way, is a plan that happens every year. Mango season, I go berserk. So I think you can have the excesses. The problem with us today is too much of excesses. So control needs to come in. Control can come in the form of awareness, scales, blood test, genetic test. Go meet Ryan Fernando.
All right, okay, go meet Ryan Fernando because a lot of insightful information there that he shared with us today here at the just before the Edge of Nutrition Summit 2024. Thank you so much, Ryan, for coming for the summit as well as spending so much time with us and giving that information to us. Thank you so much.